Some of the challenges we face over the summer months as opposed to the rest of the year are obviously some of the extreme conditions. We're dealing with a lot of high humidity, we're dealing with a lot of heat, a lot of precipitation, lightning, insects, all sorts of fun stuff that everybody's faced with here in South Florida. The growth is exponentially hard to control, but we do our best not only to protect ourselves from sun and chewing insects and all those types of conditions, but also as far as the garden, it's a good time for pests to start doing their kind of chewing, a lot of weed growth, as well as fungus issues and things like that, just as everybody else challenges in South Florida during the summer. We do our best to keep as hydrated as best as we can. We use some techniques like looking in some of the areas that are in the full sun. We try and take care of those in the early morning when it's not as hot out, and then work in the shade more in the afternoon, so we can kind of best tackle those as far as physically. Rain makes it challenging. We're obviously not going to be out doing work in lightning storms for safety purposes and what have you. So we just do the best that we can. Our guests should really look for some really interesting things during the summer months that they might not get a glimpse at in the winter. It is our rainy season, so there's a couple really neat things to look at. The garden is named Roji-En, which literally means the garden of drops of dew. Because we're not open to the public until later on after 10 o'clock, typically those dewdrops are kind of evaporated away by the morning sun. So what's really neat is if we do get folks that come in and it has rained, it's a really rare occurrence to see those glistening drops. Also, something really neat to pay attention to as well is with all the heavy rain, you'll start to really see some really neat fungus and mushrooms coming up in some of the mulch beds, which is pretty rare for folks to see if they don't get here early morning. Like I said, we don't open until 10, so those are some really cool things to check out while you're here during the summer.